Today's video is about a mysterious, strange and true story related to jinns. Javeria was calling Asma to wake up. "Get down, I am preparing breakfast." Asma kept turning on the bed. "Alright Ami, I am coming." Javeria murmured and went downstairs. "You wake up so late. If you got up early, so much work would be done." Asma finally got up from the bed. After brushing her teeth in the bathroom, she came out and picked up the brush from the dressing table fixed in the wall and started combing her hair. Behind her, it felt like her mother was standing. She could see her legs. "Emmy, you went down to make breakfast. How are you still standing here?" Saying this, she quickly went down the stairs. When she saw her mother standing in the kitchen, she was shocked. "Emmy, just now you were standing behind me upstairs. How did you come down so quickly?" Javeria looked at Asma. "When was I upstairs? Are you out of your mind? I was preparing breakfast here in the kitchen." Then Ami, who was standing behind me upstairs. "Stop talking nonsense. Must be your imagination." "No Ami, I am telling the truth. I really saw you upstairs. Could see your legs." Javeria glared at her. "Emmy, look what she is saying now." She looked at her mother-in-law. The old lady looked at Asma lovingly, made her sit near her and asked, "What is it, my child?" Asma narrated the whole incident to her grandmother. "This girl is not little anymore. She is not lying. She must have seen something." Hearing this, even Javeria got scared. "Emmy, please don't say that. I will never go alone to the room upstairs." "Alright. I know a lady who teaches Quran. I will call her and have her recite Surah Baqarah. Inshallah, if there is any effect, it will go away." Javeria looked at her mother-in-law with fear. "Yes Ami, please call her quickly." The grandmother immediately called Khala Hajra. She told her the whole incident and asked her to recite. Khala Hajra asked for a bottle of water. She recited Surah Baqarah over it, blew on it and said, "Sprinkle this water in the whole house and especially in the corners of your room." Javeria did exactly that. One day, Javeria's maid came running from the kitchen. "Baji, Baji, what is in the kitchen? What happened, tell me?" Javeria asked. The maid said, "I was standing there when suddenly I felt someone behind me. When I turned around, a tall and huge man was standing right behind me. After a moment, the man disappeared." Now Javeria was completely shaken. She called her husband Hater and told him the whole situation. Hater also got worried. "What on earth is happening in our house?" he said. "Don't worry. I will come in the evening and do something about it." Javeria had a friend named Najish who lived in the next house. She came to visit Javeria. Javeria told her everything. Najish smiled and said, "Javeria, shall I tell you something?" "Yes, tell me." Javeria asked with surprise. "My mother is Iranian. She had a jinn with whom she used to talk. That jinn was very kind. He never harmed anyone. Instead, he used to warn her before any accident or loss. Even at the time of my marriage, he told my mother that this proposal is very good. Marry your daughter and don't worry. He said I will stay with Najish and she will never face any trouble." And that is exactly what happened. That jinn, whose name is Zainab, is with me and talks to me. Now if you say I can ask him about your house, I can find out what the problem is and what you people should do. Javeria stared at her in shock, her eyes wide open. She stepped back in fear. "Najish, what are you saying? I am already terrified and you are telling me this." But Najish calmly replied, "This jinn is very good. He even goes to the mosque in defense for prayers. After the Zuhr prayer, the jinn gather there to pray." "What are you saying, Najish? You are trying to scare me." "No, I am telling you the truth. You can ask anyone. Whoever prays there, or even the Maulvi Sahib who leads the prayer knows about this." Javeria went home and told her husband Hater everything. Hater said, "Alright, I will ask around." He questioned some people in his office. Many of them confirmed that yes, this is true. One of the men, who also worked in Hater's office, said, "Can confirm it myself. Something happened to me in that mosque." Hater asked, "Really? Then tell me what happened." The man said, "I had given 5 lakh rupees to a close friend who was desperate to go abroad. He promised me that once he reached America and started earning in dollars, he would return the money. But it has been 4 years. Neither did he return my money nor did he answer my calls. My wife taunted me again and again. How could such a close friend deceive you? Felt ashamed. One day I went to that mosque to pray. And there with all my heart I prayed. Oh Allah, please make my friend return my money, so that I may find peace at home with my wife. I was praying from my heart that I could be saved from embarrassment in front of my children. Just then the phone rang. I picked it up and it was my close friend. I said to him, I have been calling you for so long. Why were you not answering? He replied, it is a long story. Anyway, now I am finally in a position to return your money. But I could not find you. I happily said, I am in a mosque in defense. I gave him the address and he came with great sincerity, apologized, and returned my money. I gave the money to my wife and cleared my embarrassment. My wife said, invite that friend for dinner. But from that day till now, he never picked up the phone and never came again. One day when I went to the mosque, I wanted to clear my doubt. I asked the Maulana, do you remember one day in the mosque I met a man who returned my money? The Maulana said, yes, I saw you receiving money from someone, but I did not see the man. I only saw the money. Then the Maulana told me that a good jinn had helped me and returned my money. After the Zuhr prayer, the congregation of jinn also gathers in this mosque. I became nervous and went back home. Again and again I checked the money with my wife to see if it was real or fake. But the money was truly real. So I confirmed that after the Zuhr prayer, the jinn's congregation happens in that mosque. Hater listened to this incident with great astonishment. He came home and said to his wife, your friend Najish is absolutely right. Surely she has a jinn with her, a pious Muslim jinn. Juwairiya, with fear in her heart, called Najish and asked, can you ask your jinn what we should do? The next day, Najish invited Juwairiya to her house and said, I asked the jinn. He said you should go for Umrah. There you will find the solution to your problem. Juwairiya shared this with Hader. Hader said, this is not difficult. You Asma and I will go next month. He booked the tickets, took leave from the office, and they all went for Umrah. There was still a sense of disbelief. But finally they reached Saudi Arabia. They had joined a group. When they arrived, everyone was introduced to each other. In that group there was a blind woman on a wheelchair. No one was with her. Juwairiya felt pity for her and spent all her time pushing the wheelchair. During the tawaf of Umrah, the woman paid someone to push her wheelchair, but most of the time it was Juwairiya herself who looked after her. During this time, Juwairiya became good friends with the blind woman, Sherbano. Sherbano told her that she had knowledge through which she could reveal the future. Hearing this, Juwairiya became very happy and asked her to tell about her own future. Sherbano agreed and said, tell me your full name and date of birth, and also your daughter's name and date of birth. With joy, Juwairiya gave her all the details. Within a short while, Sherbano began to tell everything. She said, Juwairiya, the house you are living in is haunted. As soon as you return to Pakistan, you must change the house, otherwise you all will face a great calamity. And if you ask the previous owner about the history of this house, you will understand why it is cursed. Juwairiya became frightened and said to Hater, Najish's jinn had spoken the truth. After Umrah we are finding out the reality. Anyway, they completed their Umrah and returned home. With fear in their hearts, they stepped inside the house. Juwairiya called her maid and told her to clean the house. Suddenly, a loud sound came from the storeroom. Juwairiya was shaken. She quickly looked inside and saw that all the tiles had suddenly broken. What is this? What happened? Juwairiya panicked. She told Hader, but Hader said, you are imagining things. Sometimes workers do not fit tiles properly, so they crack with heat. But the way those tiles had broken, Juwairiya felt something else entirely. She asked the maid to clean the bedroom. While the maid was cleaning, she suddenly came running from the servant quarter that was attached to the bedroom. The maid was terrified and said, Baji, Baji, from this servant quarter I can hear the sound of someone reciting incantations. I will not clean that place. For God's sake, call someone else. Jawiria tried to calm her down and said, "Fine, don't be afraid, I will arrange someone else to clean." That evening, when Hater returned from the office, Jawiria told him the entire incident. She said, "Please ask the previous owner of this house what happened here." Hater comforted her and said, "I will find out tomorrow." Jawiria begged him, "Hater, please sell this house and buy another one. Cannot live here anymore." Hater held her hand, embraced her, and reassured her, for she was extremely scared. That evening, he called the estate agent and asked him to put this house for sale and arrange for a new one. He also requested to meet the former owner of the house. The estate agent searched and gave him the number. The next day, Jawiria and Hater reached the home of the previous owners. Munawar and Shaista, the former owners, welcomed them into the drawing room and asked the reason for their visit.
Jawiria explained everything that had happened to them and asked, what was it that took place in that house which made it haunted? Munawar and Shaista became uneasy. Then, with patience, they revealed the truth. They said a merciless murder was committed in that house. In the servant quarter, a family once lived. Their daughter fell in love with a boy from the neighboring house. The boy was wealthy. When his family found out, they tried to send him abroad under the excuse of education. But the boy was madly in love with that servant's daughter. When his parents failed to stop him, they cruelly arranged the girl's murder and buried her in that very house. Since then, anyone who lives there faces destruction. The police had investigated and recovered the body, but her restless soul still roams that house seeking revenge. That is why people who live there often see her in different forms, and she terrifies them. Jawiria told Hater, "We must change this house immediately." They contacted the estate agent, sold the house, and bought a new one. Only a short while after they shifted to the new home, they heard that their old house had suddenly caught fire and burned badly. That house was never inhabited again. Many people bought it at cheap prices and rebuilt it, but every time, after a short while, fire would once again consume it and reduce it to ashes. One day, when Jawiria and Hater were passing by, they saw their old abandoned house. They were filled with fear, but also thanked God that the blind woman had warned them with her knowledge. They were also grateful to their friend Najish, whose jinn had guided them to perform Umrah, where they found the rest of the truth.